Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Azakai here. Hope you guys having a wonderful day. Today, well, tonight, we're gonna have Nope versus PLEB, followed by ECL versus GNG. I believe it is Nope, Plebeian, Ecliptos, and Gungnir. So we'll have those teams fight it out. So we're just waiting for them to rock up. But nonetheless, hope you guys enjoy my commentary. Hopefully the clean feed works today. And as always, enjoy the show. Oh, there we go. Clean feed's up, which is really great. We'll probably see the start time around about the 8:13 mark, so probably about 20 minutes from now. But nonetheless, I'm very interested into seeing what map these teams will choose. We've seen a combination of Wolfort Day and Hidden City yesterday. So, I mean, Hidden City has really come in mostly because of the scoring phase. Did not have Wolfort, so practicing on different maps could send people, like, it could be very confusing for people to play on maps that they're not used to. Hidden City, we're seeing a definite hard point in the getting up those siege towers and stuff. Limitation. Again, I think most siege maps are limited. Have a limitation on siege towers being able, either being able to destroy them or just having being able to just straight up being suppressed the entire time. A lot of times I'm seeing that teams are able to manage a sort of siege tower destruction. Although we did get to see a very good answer to suppression, to the siege tower suppression with suppression of their own, mostly by mortars and stuff. Some really good artillery spots as well. Get those mortars very close to the wall and shooting over with the mortars. More than likely, the responding team should, I mean, like the defending team should more or less answer back with the musket bomb. Like muskets on defense seems to be a very obvious choice. Seeing a lot of teams go with like 8 or so muskets. Although, not that I've seen them around for too long. Once the siege towers start getting close to the walls, they start switching out to the pike or other medium armor classes. Not that I see Nodachis around. Nodachis has, as predicted, fallen off mainly because that rune back in last season that gave them the 15% damage resistance plus the plus 3, like that tripled when below 25%. It was really that rune that made Nodachis really difficult. I think they still end up a little bit too weak in the current state of things. But they're a much better state than they were before, at the very least. I think I think the changes for the racking up with the blood craze ability really sending them up a level. Just hopefully the other classes can compete. Just end up with weaknesses. Uh, One of the things is just like classes that are newer, especially the Pike, has extraordinarily lower cooldown and much larger flexibility than the traditional classes. Traditional classes has only access to 4 abilities, 3 of them being basic and 1 of them being their ultimate ability. So when you compare it to something like Pike, especially like Pike, because Pike has the lowest cooldown ultimate in the game, and is ranked like coming in like only 20, like 30 seconds, half the duration of half the cooldown of other classes, and it's still to be seen whether or not the Pike will actually get a nerf on the ult in particular, because I for one think that their charge up ult is too strong. The um, charge up ult is too strong. It's only 70% scaling off of a similar ability for Spear, but it has but like you can get more piercing damage on Pike than you can get Spear. So even if the base piercing percentage is larger on the Spear, it's still very close. 293 versus 370. So whether or not like the percentages are still far enough to be a significant difference between the two, but the only problem is that at a cost of like much lower cooldown. I mean, I would definitely take the one that deals a little bit less damage, but only having a 30-second cooldown. And I mean, with the runes nowadays, I think this has more to do with balancing with the runes than it is for the class itself. But um, roar the war cry rune, or what, like the war cry triggerable, is really sending Pike into a new level. I think I've seen more Pikes this season than any other season, and I mean, even during Dynasty, Pike was not very popular, mainly because it was a little bit buggy. But once those bugs were flushed out, it it the popularity kept increasing, and I'm guessing like at a higher level, people would choose Pike because of flexibility, not because that it does anything in particularly well. I think Pike, I think people who like Pike will discredit its abilities a lot, mainly because they don't think it's OP. But compared to other classes, it is OP because of its flexibility. Whether or not its flexibility should be its main point is a good question. But as it stands, I think some of its power could be reduced, especially with the CC type on its third stabbing ability. I forgot what it's called. It used to be called Monsoon, but um, after the triple stab, they'll do a last stab, and that would normally cause that does cause a knockdown. Traditionally, not knockdown. A throw. A throw is unrecoverable and one of the most powerful types of CC in the game. And the fact that it does do that is, I would say, not good or healthy because it's an easy accessible CC. Not to mention it's a superior type of CC, similar to like how concussions is. I would classify as a superior type. But oh, pumpkin soup. Thanks, Dad. Well, hopefully the game doesn't start too shortly. I think I might grab some pumpkin soup in the mid time. Oh, we got a battle starting up. Gonna take this town. Alrighty. So, we have Pleb attacking first, and it is going to be a wall fort. A mixture of artillery is an interesting thing. Both sides with a mixture of artillery. We do see some berserkers out on the field. Again, you're gonna have to be careful with berserkers. Against tier 5s, berserkers don't really value too much, but against some of the lower tier stuff, definitely would create a lot of value. I think Medaus are struggling to deal with berserkers. I thought they would be able to deal with berserkers, but probably not. We got some tertials actually being chosen for the defenders. Only one Metallitor Alchemist and Bastion Wild Flames. Okay, the Alchemist pick is very interesting, and also the Namcan pick also very interesting. It's gonna be interesting how the attacking team actually uses those people. I think alchemists are actually useful in a skirmishing scenario where the damage is not particularly high enough to drop models, but not exactly low enough for you to ignore it. So I think alchemist has a place. Whether or not you can actually get that value is another question. But here we are on wall fort. Pleb attacking first. So going very heavy on the B side, so that is going to be a rush. Got most of the Berserkers out on the field, so that is, well, I mean, Berserkers getting only 8 models, can get up on those ladders very fast. We do have a contingent here, around about 6 players from the defending team. So Nope is going to defend that side. I'm not sure if I see anyone shooting towards that bridge. Mostly just surf type units here holding. So kicking down those ladders, make sure they don't go up. Uh Interesting, pleb seems to want to just bash down that door. Not realistically something that's possible. Um Not in a short time, that is. It will take a while, and I'm not sure if I saw anything shoot towards that bridge yet. Siege towers are mostly untouched. Again, it's... Oh, they finally break through the door. Surprising. It's faster than I thought it would be. Maybe they're getting some supporting fire from something else. I think those Falconetti should have been brought really close to the wall and just shot the door instead. So, interesting move from Nope. Actually gives up the B side. Does not destroy the bridge. Going letting pleb right across. So I think we're just going to go straight to a C section hold. So, as you can probably tell, most of the defenses comes down to a C hold. It really is odd that the B-side bridge is not destroyed. It's one of the rare occasions where the B-side bridge is let go and actually being available for the attackers. They do catch some random surfs. Not particularly great pickup, but it's a pickup nonetheless. There are times where teams really do come down to the wire. I think it would, I would discredit the unit. Well, I mean, discredit the available units if I was to just say um, serfs have no value at all. There are times where more serfs have been the decider, have really been kind of the what's my face calls it. Um, well, I mean, when it does come down to basically everything you have, sometimes you need to just delay the heroes. And a good surf unit is really great, can absorb a lot of damage, particularly because there will be no other units or other surf units, so you just come down basically to nothing. Holding up here at the supply point, very classic. We got a mortar already being built, 2 mortars coming out from plebs. So pleb will be switching over to some kind of bombarding stage. The bombarding stage really is to determine the status or the hard points that Nope is going to take. That supply point is a definite hard point, so they will be taking some free damage, but they're right on a supply point, so they could just heal it off very quickly, lickety split. Interesting that there was an Iron Reaper being thrown up there. I'm not sure what they were going for. I kind of skipped over like an important part. Maybe they wanted to grab something that I couldn't see. It's still early in the game though. One Iron Reaper down. I think they did manage to kill a couple of the medals, but here comes the mortaring. Again, the mortars will do light damage. You really need like 3 or 4 of them to hit simultaneously to do any significant amount of damage. Otherwise, they'll just heal it off before the next mortar drops. So Nope is taking some good spots. Again, corners and right next to walls are your best bet to protect yourselves from getting shot at. Nope is controlling the stairs with just the heroes, so I don't think they're afraid to take a hero battle if it does happen. The wall not going down for the attackers just means that they might be hard pressed if Nope uh, goes for a front gate hold. So Pleb is exiting down there on the left-hand side, right next to the wall, right next to the wall break or the breakable wall, because the wall is not broken just yet, so that is closed for them. Going back up, in fact, so as they could probably already tell, you're kind of trapped on the inside, and the most interesting thing is when you are trapped on the inside. It's funny, I would say. When you don't have that wall down, the defenders could again pressure you at those stairs, and it is a lot of pressure for the defending team, for the attacking team, sorry, to go down and challenge the defenders in their home ground. You really need to open up your options, and breaking down that wall is a good one. When you're coming down to the second stage, that is, here at the C point. When it is uh, when it is closed like this and you're trying to push into the C point, I do think you're going to be hard pressed to not be pushed up against the wall when the defenders come roaring in like this. They're coming in really close. They're minimizing the mortars. So, I mean, like, there is 4 mortars just sitting right there, unable to hit anything, is my guess. So, I think Pleb is wasting a lot of time by not making a decisive move, not getting any value out of those mortars, not being able to pressure Nope into a bad position. They really want to take. It does look like Nope really want to take them here at the bottom of these stairs, really close to the wall. This protects them from trebs, and this protects them from mortars or otherwise artilleries using the height advantage. This is a really good move from Nope. Pleb is wasting a lot of time. I don't think they got an answer to what Nope is doing, which is very strange to me since they have to take a fight and they look like they're going to start one. Nope has medals holding the line for now. Shields are a little bit back. I don't know why. Really need to get those shields up in front. Claymores and Iron Reapers comes in through a nice blasting by the Shenji Grenadiers. The Shenji Grenadiers around the corner though, so not getting those shots off, just mostly getting the grenade up and over. So although they did take the fight there, a bit of attrition here and the availability of reinforcements for the defenders. So a little bit of a victory here, but could be a massive loss in a few seconds. Although that I have seen defenders not manage their troops well and lose out massively. But Imperial Pike walks straight into the center of that. We have Madow's the Madow's reinforcing the position. Double grape shot could definitely send this pile running. Got to be careful with your heroes though. The attacking team is down to just 10 guys. A good charge into the center of that could push them right off. Good pressure coming out from Pleb, respawning straight onto that C point. Good, good, good. Superiority coming out from Pleb though. Finally taking the supply point in its entirety. Surprisingly, I thought they would take more losses than that, but no. About 2-1 here. 2-1 losses is actually a really good pickup. That means you have around about 7 or 8 units left compared to the enemy team losing about 15 units. 15, uh, 15 strong units as well. So the C point here, a C point hold here now, losing the supply point would be silly. It really, I'm not sure what well, Pleb is a little bit overextending here. Could lose a couple guys, especially heroes here, but there is Medals very close by. Could easily eat up those Winged Hussars. Although Nope showing a very how to say aggressive stance there at the bottom of the stairs. When it comes down to the fighting, they're coming up short in both the battles, and even now this is not going well. Not going well at all. I think it's going to be a very easy push towards the base now for Pleb. Again, resources. If we're talking about resources, we've got 1.5. We got 1.5 pushes of good tier units, while Nope is down to their last good units, I would say. Got Fort Brashear is being chosen as well from Pleb. Lots of Pike, so gonna definitely come in swinging with Pike superiority, and this is a good move because with not using infantry style pushes, which have an advantage against Medals, but when we're talking about a push here, what you're really afraid of is not the bad matchups for Medal, since it's not entirely bad. What you're most afraid of is the cavalry coming in and absolutely decimating your infantry pile. So even if you do come in with a strong infantry pile, if a cavalry charges right through, your infantry pile has no answer to that. So coming in with lots of pike units, tons of Badals actually. I saw a one Iron Reaper by the looks of it. So they do have a little bit of high tier infantry. So gonna see if that shield needs to get in front again, sitting at the back while the Badal take the front. The infantry battle not looking too hot, getting shot up by those Shenjis. I think the line there not perfect, as those Medals getting dangerously close to your gun line. And in the end, really good push here, taking a defensive position, using their range to their advantage, and definitely just scaring off a lot of cavalry. Look, the defending team has a lot of cavalry out on the field. I count about 5 cavalry. I think one of them was a Keshig, 2 of them maybe, and practically useless right now, and they're getting caught by even just regular infantry as they have nowhere to go. They can't create value, and lots of infantry just getting shot up. The superiority here at the base point is clear. Pleb is just going to take this battle super easy, and I don't think Nope put up a good challenge for them. Not using not using range in this scenario for the defending team even is probably what killed them, because with the range from Pleb, you really just got outgunned here. As on the approach, your infantry would have just gotten shot up, even though I don't think I saw a good infantry matchup, meaning that I didn't see a lot of Iron Reapers face those Medals, or like better like infantry that would deal with Medals fairly easily, or being able to take the fight at the very least. As you can see, we've got plenty of strong units remaining, and there we have it. Pleb takes that really easily and concisely. The victories coming out from the decisiveness from those battles couldn't be more clearer. I think the push towards the supply was a little bit muddy. I think Nope didn't manage their resources well, or it just comes down to the fact that the superior range superiority to Pleb here, and Nope just coming up really short, trying to over reliant on that cavalry, so they couldn't get those cavalry in, and it was hard pressed. The difference between a good team and a great team is not only letting your cavalries perform, but letting your cavalries perform even in a bad situation where the enemy team just brings all the pikes in the world. Nope just didn't have an answer to deal with the pike. They have a lot of cavalry, so they could deal with infantry in general. Whether or not it was, I still say it comes down to the fact that the ranged units created a lot of value for plebs here. They was methodical with their ranged units as well. I think the shields were a little bit slow on positioning, and again, their positions of the shields were not the greatest, although Nope couldn't take advantage of the gaps in the line. I think trying to, at the very least, was the best option. But a good performance from both teams. I think Nope should have kept their aggressiveness there on the stairs, though. What could have happened if Nope kept up the aggressiveness when they came down is because it's a double right turn or like right angle turn. So when the enemy comes up, they turn towards the supply point and then well, I mean like it's a double turn around next to the supply point. So, well, your best bet is to hit them hard when they're coming up around the turn, and you can fall back and hit them again from the turn again. Whether or not it's a bit of a waste for attrition, I think pleb couldn't use the turns as well as they could have. Again, could have used some more fire support and some more holding units instead of trying to brute force their way through the attacking team. The ebb and flow really just shows that pleb is more solid in the team fight than Nope was. But it was also surprising that Nope chose to not have any resources wasted on the B side wall, choosing to give it up in its entirety. I also think it was weird that Nope not Nope, Pleb didn't decide to take down the wall, the breakable wall that is, and chose to leave it as it was, probably not wasting any time. Um, Although I do say that they wasted a lot of time going back and forth, up on the wall, down the wall. I think they did it around about 3 times. But nonetheless, we still have one more battle between these two teams. Maybe it'll come down to a field battle. That would be interesting. But nonetheless, between Nope and Pleb, it does look like Pleb is a notch above. Again, I thought coming here into the top 16, we'd see less of these one-sided stomp. But looking at it now, maybe I was wrong. Maybe instead of skill difference, it's strategy when it comes down to it, the strategies between teams are woefully different or executed differently. So I'm gonna have to say that maybe with higher level, the one-sidedness will only increase. I hope not, but we will have to wait and see. Hopefully we get to see a comeback from Nope. I'd hate it to see another 2-0, but nonetheless, these teams definitely went through a scoring phase, so they did score enough to be here. Gotta turn on.
Do a quick attack.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
So
like you
they
can't.
don't even
Right.
like push the siege tower.
Oh wait, so you can.
Yeah, like wait for the moment. They just take action.
Yeah, but if you like destroy the bridge and destroy the gaps,
Yeah,
destroy
it
the
will make
walls,
it more quicker.
yeah, the siege towers and also the siege towers will still be the very important part of the game. You have to make sure you push
Siege
the
towers are
sieges,
more points of
really quickly
access.
and
Without the points of
don't
access,
waste
I
any
think
time on pushing the siege tower. But I think
it
the
would be
defenders will
difficult
give huge
for the
pressure on
attackers to
that.
take the
They just
wall
won't
Let's see
be
what
without
able
the
those
to.
siege
NO can
towers.
do as
You
the
really
attacker,
got
then we
only
will see the point
so
B,
many
there's
options.
an opportunity,
But the B
or you
side
will
being
just
open
stick to
means that a
the
good
point A
push coming
like
from that
our
left-hand
vegetarians do.
side
Yeah.
would be fairly
So
easy,
two
so I
teams
doubt that they
now
would have
are
held the
pretty
wall
ready.
anyway.
Yeah.
Both of them are in the room, and I think soon we'll jump into the preparation stage and to see their lineup and then
Yeah.
to see how they're gonna play in the game.
The game 2 on Warford.
Yeah, the game 2 is about to start. Let's go to the preparation stage here.
Well, apparently they've started. They're just waiting for the
Let's see
preparation
the
stage.
lineup.
We should switch over any second. There we go. Gonna cut down on this pretty little thing real quick. I didn't see this before, but there's actually two glaives out for Nope here. Interesting pick. Poleaxes being the most popular class here for pleb, probably just to catch sneaky boys coming through. 5 guys there on the B side, a couple of guys, well, I think 6 guys there on the A side. Important units, again with the Alchemists on the attacking side, or Bastion Wild Flames for the defending side. Pleb, again with the shield, not sure if they actually were very useful, but in a firefight they will be plenty useful. A couple of Berserkers being used yet again. Hate to see it. Well, maybe not so much. Maybe I give Berserkers not enough credit. They're not a terrible unit. But, I mean, it's just still hard to use Berserkers to beat out the Tier 5 infantry, especially when you're facing Royal Janissaries or Iron Reapers. Apparently, nowadays against Medaus, they're not too bad. I mean, I thought the Medaus would be able to deal with them, but apparently not. Fairly standard approach so far. All the siege towers being pushed up. B is getting a rush towards B. Climb on the ladders. Let's see if they get up. The short sword gets up first. Does he go down though? He jumps down, probably try to open the door in this case. But someone is stopping him, so I don't think he'll ever be able to get that. You need more heroes to jump that wall. Help this short sword. It's just really a battle here at the ground. Short sword just barely surviving. The dual blade should more or less be able to whittle this guy down with bleed stacks. Otherwise, they just maintain pressure on the supply point and on the gates, in fact. Really slow here. Could just jump up, actually, with no heroes overwatching. The unit should be piecemeal. Instead, they wait for the battering ram. I didn't even notice that the battering ram actually made it to the wall. Pleb beforehand went to destroy it with just the heroes. So, massive difference right now. All of the siege towers went down, so that's not good. Pleb definitely going to pick up a big set of time with all of those siege towers destroyed. I do think it's going to take another 2 minutes. So, earlier siege tower, my bet, maybe 6 minutes. At 6 minutes, the one on the right hand side will probably get up around about 6 minutes 30 if they're lucky. Nope does take down the wall break and will just walk straight in with heroes only. Can't see what's happening on the backside, but I do think they're looking at the stairs right now. Not sure what's on the stairs. Can't really see on the backside. Does look like Nope has superiority, and no deaths so far. Here we go. Nope picks up Kicker. Might pick up some more heroes, in fact. No units holding with them. Whoop, Bastian Wild Flames. No, Bastian Nafarangard. My goodness, what is wrong with me? Berserkers also in the mix, and Medals. Trying to bait them with the Treb there. I don't think the Treb came in very cleanly, so I don't think very much would have actually hit. Surprisingly, not engaging the units just yet. It's mostly just been a hero battle. Now sending a couple of units around. The siege towers are getting close. Gonna hit that 6 minute mark by the time they get there. Of course, not really much you can do about that. Ooh, a little bit of a sandwich here, actually coming out big for Pleb. Pleb also comes in with the Narfan guards, just slapping whatever coming up through that left-hand side stairs through the wall break. Looks like the Iron Reapers does cleave in and takes out a couple of serfs. I'm not sure why they're pushing in with serfs here. The losses are not terrible so far. Although they did lose a couple of units, I don't think they lost an entire push yet. Siege Tower is still being suppressed, though, actually. I didn't even notice that they destroyed all of the all of the Siege Towers again. I thought the Siege Towers were just being pushed towards the wall. The right-hand Siege Tower being pushed again probably goes down. Otherwise, if they're lucky, they'll get up on 4 minutes. This is the scenario where it's like you're trying to get up to A, but you're getting stopped by the Nafan guards. Would I just I think maybe a push towards the B is a best bet, but we have some cavalry. Whoa! Cataphracts coming in through, going outside and back through. Getting caught by the Fortebraccio, but takes out a good chunk of the Cataphracts from the attacking side. Can't really stand by. Well, can't really sit around and take it like that. No, gonna be really bad stairs, and we have some Matelators on the backside here. Hello, Cricket. Shooting directly on the backside. So if they go up the stairs, they're gonna get a cannonball to the back. If they go up the stairs, they get a face full of fire. Again, another failed push. Not looking too hot, if I do say so. As they literally getting lit on fire here. Royal Janissaries coming in. I think after that, Nope is down a lot of units, in fact. A lot of good units. Although they threw in some serfs now and again, I don't think Nope has what it takes to take the city off of Pleb at this rate. Whether or not... Whoa, what just happened? Oh, we just switched cameras or what? I think they did the overlay wrong there. What was I up to? What was I saying? These stairs probably feasible now because they probably ran out of ammo. So getting the siege tower up on the left-hand side means another avenue up on the wall. They're running out of time though. The flamers are still there, so this is not good. For the 1 point, the flamers could just take out the Iron Reapers here, and that would be very easy. Question here is, can Pleb actually hold the A point? I don't believe that they will lose the city, mainly because Nope has lost way too much in order to make up for, and I don't think Pleb is going to be silly either. Unfortunately, actually, I'm looking at a Javelin Sergeant here at the front, and it is apparently doing okay. Being protected by Claymores right now. Nope, not getting a solid push through. Mostly attritioning with the units. Medals, lots of medals. It's surprising how long the Javelin Sergeants are surviving, considering the difference in like the difference in quality compared to Medal's. We got some Claymores as well, doing surprisingly well to survive. I thought they would be instantly wiped out once their abilities, once their negative comes in, but maybe they haven't used it, or maybe they were able to use it and get out of battle. So right now they're just using their natural strength. It might come down to the wire as Medal's comes in with shields, or not even close at all, as I actually reinforcements from Nope actually stops in its entirety. Where'd the Medal's go? I swear there was Medal's there. We also have Cataphrax out on the field. Could just go straight for that tower. Nope has less than a minute to go. Most of A is been capped. Uh, the exchanges come in a little bit, have been equal for a little bit now, but at the beginning, massive losses coming out from Nope. And again, Royal Janissaries here at the front just cleaving right through that Medal. I don't think there was much support for that Medal, as two heroes just eats it hard. A third one just died as well. I think the tidal wave victory for PLEB is just going to continue as they roll down this siege tower with the remaining heroes from Nope just getting eaten alive. We've got lots of cavalry down on the ground here, but I don't think they're going to be able to take A for you. Nothing substantial coming from Nope. Prefecture Pikeman, if that's anything substantial. So well done, Pleb. Really strangleholding their victory there at every turn. I do think Nope lack of not sure how to put it. The quality between Nope and Pleb really comes down to executing the solid plan. They destroyed the siege towers. The siege towers took forever to get up. Good positioning from Pleb as well, using the Nafan guards and the metallic tools at key position to lock down the enemy. So I guess in this scenario, I think Nope was lacking in its adaptability, not being able to get those advantages, such as the siege towers up on the wall, getting across to B section. Really, really, really struggling to not be played by the defenders here. The defenders really did an amazing job to uh, narrow down the approaches that Nope could execute. And again, when you're coming up against a hard wall like this, Nope really struggling to uh, find a way through the defenders. In the end, they did get one of the siege towers up, and it does really show the difference between having a siege tower up and not having a siege tower up. The difference is quite tragic, I would say. But nonetheless, congratulations to Pleb 2-0 against Nope. Right now, I think we're going to go into a long break, around about 22 minutes, and we're going to be waiting for the next set of battles between ECL versus Gungnir. I hope that will be interesting. As I said before, I thought that with the top 16s we would get less one-sided battles, but maybe I was wrong. And what really happening is that the skill of the team the skills of the team really shined better when you teamwork shines better, and the strategies are working out way better. So in the end, the advantages you have against the team is narrowing as the strategies become more efficient. So landslide victories for one or the other side is going to be probably more common. I think the most interesting battles we'll see is the field battle. So I'll catch you guys in a few. I'm gonna grab some. I'm gonna grab some pumpkin soup and eat in the meantime. I'm gonna use that 20 minutes to Be right back. Alrighty. We have a countdown in 2 minutes. Although the clean feed should come back soon. Takes a little bit. There we go. But for those of you tuning in now, we have ECL versus Gungnir. We just watched the PLEB versus Nope battle, and we did see someone just get absolutely destroyed. Although I do think that I don't think that Nope was out of its league. I do think that they could do better. I think their adaptability is just a little bit too low, especially when things don't go right for them. So when getting suppressed on the siege towers, again, very difficult decisions, or you really need to adapt to times where the main strategy doesn't work. But yeah, what I was saying. PLEB versus Nope ended up in a 2-0 victory for PLEB, and now we're going to be watching the ECL versus GNG match. I could look up what map they are playing on, but let's leave it a mystery for now. Nonetheless, very shortly we should get a intro track for well, straight to commentary.
Second bracket.
Let me just turn this guy on.
ECL versus GNG.
Yeah.
And in the last match, we knew that PLEB, they performed pretty well and win out from the match with NOP as 2-0. And ECL, and it's the third place from the group B.
Yep.
And GNG is the second place from the group C.
Yeah, but
So-
we are pretty familiar with Ecliptos. They have participated in CBL like more than 2 times, and they were in the top 4 in last time CBL. So they're really good at CBL.
Yeah, I can't remember if they came second or third. I do believe someone was below them. ECL is in the top 3 now. Well, last season. Well, not last season. It would be the season of Tyranny.
Yeah,
That was the last time we actually had a tournament. Because we skipped over Highlander, and it was still on Paragon, even though we're in Helheim. So maybe next season's going to be Helheim. Interesting.
Yesterday, they are from most of them from the same Japanese house, and MGK they were the top 4 in last time CBL. So let's see whether can defeat ECL.
Okay, that is strange. They have an echo on their actual main thing.
And make it back to the top 4.
Oh, I think it's because
Ecliptos,
Bread and AB has their own mic. So when she's pointing towards Bread, you can hear it too. So it's causing a feedback.
For teams, but ECL, I can remember they are the original name, the Ecliptos. Yeah, I don't know why, but it rates good.
Yeah, because most of their players are from the English community in Conqueror's Blade.
Yeah, so the map for the match, the first game is the attacker is gonna be GNG, and the map is Warford, and the second game, ECL Ecliptos, they are gonna be the attacker, and the map is a hidden city.
Yeah.
So from the day 1 to day 3, this is the third day.
Hidden City,
Yeah.
interesting.
And the maps is all about the hidden city and the Warford.
Only 2 maps.
Yeah.
Well, no.
You know,
Previously, before, they were just literally just all Warfords. I had to get a random
a lot of maps
Harbor City. It's realistically just hidden cities coming in. Ever since it's one of the only choices. Well, I mean, they didn't really give you very many options during the scoring phase. I mean, like
It's
Mongolia,
also very
no
good,
one would choose
good
that one.
thing
Valley
to
Fortress,
see
no
that
one would choose that
no
one.
more Harbor City. Yeah,
I
back
mean, I
in
think they took
the
that
first
out the
first
last time
time
they
and
actually had
the
it in
second
the
time CBL.
scoring
It's
phase,
all
which
about
was
Harbor
during
City.
Dynasty season.
Harbor City again.
And let
Harbor
me
City
tell
is
you,
more like
very
a
biased
game.
for anyone trying
You
to
just
attack that
go
place.
for point A and the final base.
Absolutely getting
Hidden City
stomped
for
into
me, like in
oblivion.
terms of maps, it feels there. This map feels like it's something. It's kind of a rising star from the map pool. And more team chose Hidden City as their attackers map. I think that is pretty good because like this map, you know, it's like so many buildings inside this map, so you can have a lot of different strategies.
Yep.
You can take advantage of these buildings and hide your units, and also especially from the yesterday's game, we saw that I forgot the team's name, but they did a quite good job. They hide the gunners behind the walls and keep shooting the siege towers, and made a lot of great trouble for attackers to push the siege towers. Because like we know the siege tower is so important in the early game.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the first map is gonna be the Warfort, and the Warfort we just like watch the 2 games of Warfort, and we can see the how to play this map, because like everybody must be very clear with that.
And also GNG and Ecliptos both veteran teams, so they must know almost all kinds of strategies in this map. So it's
well, I mean, like you
about
come down
the
to just a couple of
team
main
cooperation and
strategies,
also
so
skills of each player.
there's only so much you can actually do.
How they can, just dominate their units and the heroes there.
Yeah. And 2 teams, I think they are pretty ready, and both of them are already inside the room, and the battle is about to start.
Yeah.
And let's see their lineup and the formations in the early game. Let's see. The first map, Warfort, attacker GNG, and defender ECL.
So one person's attacking all 4 and the other one's
Let's
attacking
go.
Hidden City.
Map is
We'll get the Warfort
battle
one
is about to
first.
start. Let's go. And the GNG blue side attacker ECL.
Alright, Gungnir is attacking Wall Fort, so that's gonna be cool. Wall Fort. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, we've had Hidden City for the scoring phase for like forever. Like, I think I got sick of Hidden City, watching Hidden City, watching it, watching everyone play on Hidden City. But I'm also just gonna be like, most of the tournaments have always just been on Wall Fort. Gungnir choosing 2 longbows. What are you doing? That is, I guess so. Wall Fort is more interesting. But wow, what a pick. Also, Axe Raiders, 2 Axe Raiders. We've got 4 Berserkers, 1 Palace Guards, and I think that was 3 Claymores. Wow, what an interesting pick. I think the longbow pick is the most baffling one of all. I'm very interested to see how well these. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure those longbows are going to switch to something else, shortbow even. But let's see. I mean, I'd love to see a good longbow. At the same time, I hate the class. It's low impact. I mean, like I think I got in trouble with a couple of guys saying like comments on longbow were harmful, and it's just like, yeah, I'm hyperbolic in some cases, but honestly, like if the developers just listened to me, the game would be so drastically different. They obviously have their own opinions about how to balance things, and I don't think everyone believes longbow. I mean, like, not everyone thinks like I do when they think about longbow. Interestingly enough, the bridge getting shot at by the Watchers just slowly, not rushing across the bridge. That's okay. Yeah, of course they have data. They probably know that that the longbow was getting too many hero kills. Back in the day, they have this data. They probably have it. And I mean, like, they really. Oh, Jewel Blade was nerfed, and I think it's mainly because of the hero kills. I think. I think when they nerfed Spear, it was because of the hero kill. One of the things that's holding back Pike from getting nerfed, I think, is because it doesn't kill heroes as much. And that's okay. It's a point of balance. It's a point of balance. Nerfed? I don't think. Oh well. Actually, no. There was some strange nerfs for the short bow. The buff on the alternate recovery skill got nerfed, which was very strange. I mean, rolling escape needed to be nerfed anyway because that 5-second bullshit was bullshit. I don't know what just happened there, but Gungnir's got all the siege towers very close to the wall. The bridge did go down. That broken wall is about to go down as well. ECL not going to defend the wall. Not a bad pick. Again, I wouldn't choose to defend the wall either if I can help it. Mainly because you're surrounded on both sides here, and also you'll be out of position if you were to be up on that wall. It's a bit awkward how that wall is like the terrain on the wall doesn't really help the defenders feed troops in. You're either up on the wall already, or you funnel the defenders in one direction. So ECL has a contingent here on the B side. So I'm just wondering whether or not what they have on the stairs. They've split themselves about 2 to 13. So 13 are heavy on the right-hand side, which is the preferred play. You'd normally split yourself between the C and the supply point, really hovering around the supply point more, because again, when you're defending the C point, you really just flood troops in and just overwhelm the attackers with attrition. And more often than not, you come out on top because you can feed in fresh troops faster. What's interesting here is that GNG is stacked on the left-hand side, so I think they want to go hard onto the B side, so we'll have to wait and see if they make a move, because they're just standing there. Honestly, just standing there. What are they waiting for? I don't think Shortbow got nerfed that much. I think Shortbow in and of itself still has a very particular play style, which is, again, like, it's low impact. What I say by low impact is that it doesn't affect the battle in its entirety, but it has a knock-on effect which focuses on taking out the heroes. Just straight on through by the looks of it. Oh, that lots of low tier units actually coming through here, so eating right through that palace guards. Holy cow. Iron Reapers also just getting eaten through. The stairs, in this case, the bottom section is going to be the more interesting battle. The rear guard is going to have a hell of a time down there. Massive treb coming out for the attackers here. I'm not sure what exactly it hit. Too much smoke to see. But I think a lot of surf units are going to get killed here as they rock on through. Gungnir not actually sacrificing very much. A good plan, actually. Good plan. So they knew that ECL wanted to take the B side, wanted to defend the B side, so they blast right through with heavy tier units and slowed down the push with lower tier units. Now, what's going to be a bit scary for ECL here is that they might overextend. Staying here on the B side is a massive overextend. The longer they're here, the more time GNG has to Swap over units. Whoa! Indecisiveness right here. Are you going up or you're not going up? Because it looks like they just got 2 units caught out of Iron Reapers. Iron Reapers getting caught out is massive. In a battle of tier 5s, losing 2 Iron Reapers, that's like, you only have, what, 28 high tier units available, and you lost 2 Iron Reapers. I think with the tier 4s, you got some more options than just tier 5 units. Gungnir here is surprisingly still preserving the units. They threw away some axe raiders by the looks of it. The swapping does take a while. Granted, axe raiders are faster than most units. It would be wise to finish off the units there that are stranded at the B side, because you have to remember that the B side bridge is gone. Ragnar getting eat. I'm not sure what happened to Ragnar there, but ECL being their aggressiveness was not taken advantage of. I think their indecisiveness was the killer here, because they stalled the push, the catch at the B side too much. I don't know what they were afraid of. They got trebbed in the end. They lost 2 Iron Reapers, so Gungnir will still take superiority there on the B side. I'm wondering what's going through ECL's mind after taking, I would say, that loss there. It is a loss I do believe it is a loss for the defenders, mainly due to the fact that the troop trade out would have been in favor for the attackers. Mostly surf units taking the A point and also getting a massive catch there on the backhand side. Um, I'm not entirely sure whether or not it is an up, but I don't think Gungnir is down too much. So it could be a close fight for C. I'm very weirded out by Gungnir's lack of urgency for preparation stages. They're putting orders down now, but they're clocking in to 7 minutes. If they want to get a solid push through, I would start going at 6. So I guess they realize that they need to start making a move, and they're getting into position now. So man. So Gungnir finally takes a move towards the C point, and it just goes straight up through the center here. Security here on the left-hand side, so it's really good for the attackers to maintain a left-hand side in a case where you know the defenders there at the supply point. It's very hard to take a supply point push unless you have pure superiority. I take that back. Apparently, they're going to try for it. You know the defenders there at the supply point, and you want to try to take it. One of the reasons why a supply point push is basically idiotic is they can throw troops at you like no tomorrow, like all the troops. Okay, this is good. This is good. A massive bait, because you were right. Massive bait towards the supply point, actually getting more cap points in the meantime, and this is going to be, they're out of position here because ECL has no one available to go towards that C point. So the only problem here is that Gungnir didn't set up properly to hold them at the stairs here. More than likely, it looks like they got caught themselves. I think they executed this plan very poorly. I know what plan they were going for, but its execution was very poor, because once they turned that corner, they needed to face the stairs, not turn away from the stairs, and they just got completely swept out. Yikes. ECL a little bit desperate in that in that case, but it's just a poor execution of a good plan because you could have gotten the C point and not take the supply point, and that's important because you don't need to take the supply point to grab the C point. The C point being half capped here is good for Gungnir. ECL, I think ECL now is up around about a third of the units, so you're losing about a third. You're losing about 2/3 more than ECL is right now, Gungnir. So you're on the back foot, I would say, for this next push because not only do you have not only yeah, I mean, let's also be real. The infantry coming in, the infantry move by Gungnir faced the wrong way. Not faced the wrong way as per se that um that it was a mechanical mistake. I mean that as a strategic. I mean that as a strategic comment because as you saw, a lot of the infantry wanted to go towards C, but you didn't need to go towards C. You had the infantry, you had the cavalry there already, overwatching the point. Good Treb. Here's an important thing. Trebs on top of that stairs would be amazing as well. Um, I think underutilizing your own position in the push. Well, they're going now for the supply point, and I think the push here might be a little bit ill-conceived, but ECL is not in a great position either, to say the least. Winged Hussars halfway through that Imperial Pike March. That Imperial Pike March actually losing out really hard as more cavalry comes screaming through. Those Medals very lucky because apparently the Cataphracts decided to go through the other side of that pillar. This might be a victory for Gungnir. I'm watching ECL players drop like flies, but nonetheless, it's a 10-7 right now, and we have more units for Gungnir right now, and ECL losing a heavy number of players and units, actually. The unit number is very close by. I think Gungnir might take this. It's going to come down to the base battle, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't really count on the tier 4s going to come out for Gungnir here, actually. So, I could be wrong here, but I think Gungnir actually has more reserve troops than I thought they did initially. After the first push, I thought they lost out heavier. It could be scary to know if Gungnir has any good tier units left. Because I see a Medal, I see Claymores still around. You have a few Cataphracts, but the Cataphracts alone won't be able to do much. Well, maybe they'll do huge if it's against surf units. The swing speed. Well, I think Gungnir is really preying on trying to confuse ECL. ECL coming in with a lot more serfs as well. We got a couple of Medals out on the field. Probably not the full strength cavalry, but I don't know what was. Metallators in the center. Metallaloris in the center just gets destroyed. So Fenris Pax is an interesting choice, mainly because I don't believe that they're a really good unit right now. The Mez Pikemen just going to take a 1-on-1 with this Medal here. They have reinforcements, so it not terrible. The Medal might get... Whoa! What was that charge? I don't know how that Cataphract came in like that, but that angle was super weird. Cataphract's coming in for the defenders as well. ECL just sweeps out those Medals really easily. It's just a surf pile, but there's two lots of Medals for the defenders. Medals and Iron Reapers, actually. Where did those Iron Reapers come from? So in the end, I don't see anything substantial, as the quality of troops definitely in favor of the defenders, and clocking down, the surf units are just eating it hard. Cataphract's also still on the field. ECL probably has absolute superiority in troops here. So in the end, my initial conjecture was probably correct, that Gungnir lost out too many good units in the first push, and during the second push, it was really an even trade. So having about a third of your team having good units remaining was definitely coming up big now. ECL not giving them any chance to reestablish themselves, but I don't think they would be able to take it even if they could. I'm not seeing anything substantial, and as you could probably tell, there's only about a minute 30 left to go. Someone was not looking after their base point properly. Man, how insulting would that be if you accidentally just didn't defend your base point and they just took it like that? Wow, massive spawn with a lot of surf units there at the center at C. I'm not sure where the medals have went, but not sure how many of them are left. There they are at the center, actually. Halberdiers as well. Halberdiers is a good pick. Halberdier sergeants would be better in a surf pylon like this. Only because of Sun Embrace. Sun Embrace is amazing. Alright, so I'm going to have to hand it down. I mean, I probably handed it down quite a while back, but ECL does take the defense here, so that is very good for them. Going to have to take the attack for a perfect victory. So, I think what Gungnir... I think if Gungnir succeeded... Oh, well, not succeeded. It's very surprising that attrition really matters. Your units, when you lose a battle like that, and it comes close in the second one, you basically have nothing left for the third one, and it shows. It really shows. Versus the two Medals, Cataphracts, and the Iron Reapers left for ECL, Gungnir did not have very much. I think they had two Medals, and I think they traded out really well. Well, sorry, I think ECL traded those two Medals out really well against what they had left. And once those substantial units are gone, you're not gotten much left. And the stark difference in tiers doesn't allow surf units to really contend against tier 5s. Coming down to the wire there. No, well, not to the wire. Coming down to just the troops. Alice. Bottom runging here. The hero kills on both sides are actually quite high. A little bit higher on the ECL side, but yeah, Alice bottom feeder here. I do think Gungnir is no slouch when it comes to hero battles. So I really think it came down to the strategic failure of the first push. If they didn't lose so hard in the first push, I think if they traded evenly, at the very least, they traded evenly in the second push. If they traded evenly in the first push, they could have still gotten the base point with the surf, and it probably was the failure of the first push that really just set the tone for the rest of the battle, because you gotta make up that difference. Once you lose heavy, you need to win big. So heavy losses need to be counteracted by big wins. So if you don't get that big win in the second push, it's going to be even harder for the last and final one when you end up with basically surf troops. A tier 4 style warband could, and I say could, contend with tier 5s to some extent, but tier 5's performance is so drastically high that a tier 5 warband wouldn't stand a chance, I would say. So, given the benefit of the doubt here, that it really comes down to just two pushes, and you can really tell which side will win in the end due to attrition. And it really, does that make it more predictable? I think it does. I think it does a little bit. I also have to hand it down to the fact that the speed of the battle is rather fast. A lot of units die really quickly, whether or not by cavalry charge, whether or not by the death ball. The Iron Reaper death ball is one of the most annoying thing to watch because it's just loads of Iron Reapers. You don't know how many on top of each other, just cutting right through probably lines and lines of medals. Gungnir, I give Gungnir a benefit of the doubt that the execution of their plan was bad, but they're not bad. They're not bad. They worked out. Their team. It looks like Gungnir and ECL are kind of on the same level, which is good. It's much better than some of the other battles we've been watching. Um, I think it's just that one mistake there on the first push that really cost them a lot that they couldn't come back from. And I know I keep repeating myself, but I can't say it enough that I do think that Gungnir has a good chance of actually winning their own defense on Hidden City. So ECL chooses a very unorthodox map, to say the least. I personally haven't really played ECL very much, but I have watched a lot of it. So Hidden City has an interesting flow that I think people have not seen enough of. Hidden City, I bet left tower push. Left tower push is a good and strong strategy. The only problem is that a lot of Hidden City comes down to the fact of whether or not you can actually get that stupid tower up. And I mean, like, there's been some real struggle for people getting those towers up. I'm betting that that ECL might have a problem with the towers. If that's not the case, either the left or the right side one is going to be either the left and the right side one is going to be the most important siege towers. The middle siege tower is just a death sentence. Going up that middle siege tower against a defending team that wants to defend will get you killed. Hidden City is good for attackers? No? Okay, so it depends. Hidden City, in and of its like all maps, the defenders have a natural advantage. But in terms of attackers' advantage, you have the Treb, and then you have the one extra artillery. Defenders only have one artillery, so they're pressed for resources versus the attackers who have a lot of resources. The Treb is probably the most frightening thing on any wall, and I do think that Hidden City has some interesting placements for how to say for defender hardpoints because the middle siege tower is situated in a in an over in a what do you call it? In a hut. That hut has some structural defenses that makes trebbing a little bit of a gamble. Oh, yep, they've started up the next battle. Whoopsie daisy. 3 Falconettis, 1 for each tower, means a perfect suppression. So they could easily suppress the siege towers in this case. We've got 2 Metallators coming out from ECL themselves. Interesting to see that Gungnir not going with a lot of tier 5s. I'm seeing plenty of Berserkers and Claymores. Man, if they can bring Claymore, this is going to be super interesting because I'm not sure whether or not Gungnir can pull off a Claymore to Iron Reaper trade. So if ECL plays this correctly, an Iron Reaper death pile will just bowl right through the defending team right now. No, 3 Falconettis is actually fine. The only question is whether or not they also supplement the Falconettis with Culverins. Because you can survive on just you can survive on just 2 Falconettis. I've seen it happen before, but you would have to use heavy usage of the artillery. Heavy usage of the artillery means a lot of resources going into just towers. So I think ECL's struggle here is going to be taking out the Metallators. ECL really needs to focus on taking out those Metallators in order to, because it's an easy perfect suppression if each of those if each of those Metallators just keep shooting at those towers. But in a direct confrontation, I'm skeptical whether or not the Claymores and Berserkers will really create that value, because one thing which makes me always terrified is the death ball of Iron Reapers. That death ball of Iron Reapers, and I mean, there's a lot of Iron Reapers on ECL's side. They could easily smash right through Claymores. Claymores don't have daze resistance, so they can't trade, but they will definitely take damage, and they will take a lot of damage. Two claymores together get some like 75% damage resistance or some bullshit. Because 40% from Roar of Faith and then 35% from Roar of Faith plus heart thing. Ah man, I keep forgetting what it's called. Oh, forgetting about that. There's actually an additional 10% damage resistance on that for those guys as well. I forgot. Top here, climbing on the left-hand side fairly easily, just gets up. Probably gonna see if they can poke down those Metallators. Getting shot at by the Falconettis from the supply point is an interesting point. Left-hand siege tower does get up on the wall fairly easily, so I think they've already wasted the Metallators, or bringing 3 Metallators. Fiora dies here. Well, they're not stacking up on the left-hand side just yet. ECL still focusing on some other avenues, getting some guys on top of those ladders. So it's interesting to see that ECL choosing to suppress the supply point on the inside with a Metallitor of their own. Normally, I'd not go for that angle, and also you'd never catch me dead on top of the supply point when the base point is when the A point still up. Banner guards, interesting pick, really good if you combine it with really strong charging units. That being said, Paragons are fast, man. Going straight in there. All right, so does look like ECL takes A very easily. Not very much defenses coming out from Gungnir. It would be one of the worst scenarios that the defenders could be in. A lot of time for the defenders, lots of resources for the defenders even. But all the siege towers will be up very shortly. Why I say worst, one of the worst scenarios, mainly because this next, I saw this before. Well, we watched this on a different battle, and ECL should also go with something similar, as in they're gonna about to put down some, well, not some, a lot of artillery in a second. And that artillery is going to come in really huge in pressuring the defenders. I'm just interested to see what kind of reaction we're going to get out of the defenders here. They are set up in a fashion surrounding the center point, so it looks like they can react towards a left or right stairs push. Whether or not they'll hold it is another question as well. ECL already begun their mortaring. Not sure if it, we're going to have to wonder whether or not it's going to be effective. I do believe ECL shouldn't have difficulties shooting people that are right in front of them. I don't think I see them take too many losses. Maybe one or two there, but that might be the ballistas. One loss every so often is painful. I mean, like, if I got my Iron Reapers shot by ballistas, Jesus, I'd cry. I'd cry all the time. The mortars are good for scouting. I mean, mortars are good pressure on heavy piles. Gungnir also pulling some units. Well, I mean, they're moving their units around, which is good. It means that they're not static and just taking hits like a chump. I think ECL needs to get in better position for their artillery. Some center ballistas here would be way, way better. You got a lot of guys here ready, fresh, and juicy to shoot. But it is. They took a heavy. They're taking some losses now. I think that was surprising. Like, I didn't look at the units for like a second, and all of a sudden, 20 units just disappeared off of the red team's unit count. ACL could be looking to set up a push here on the left-hand side. Left-hand side is a good side. The defenders want to keep this, otherwise I'd retreat straight away. Coming down. Ah, yep, looks like they did. Your rear guard's a little bit slow. You're gonna have to let them go. Yeah, it happens. I mean, like, you can't get your troops out fast enough sometimes. Expecting a response, but none was given. So ECL does take that left-hand side. I mean, they didn't take it. Well, it looked like there was a little bit of a catch, actually. Not exactly sure what they lost. A little bit far for these, what I could see. Now, this is the one part I've always been weirded out about, is not only does the right-hand side has been very popular for both sides. Gungnir is basically the only only team that hasn't defended or prioritized right side as their major, well, as their, well, they've not defended the right side. A lot of teams have defended the right-hand side, and so Gungnir not defending it is weird. But at the same time, I've never understood why the right-hand side has been stronger. I've always thought that the left-hand side was better. That's from my own personal view, but maybe they'll prove me wrong. I mean, I historically have never really been comfortable going through the right-hand side. The left-hand side, long alley also could get shot up into a corner. 6 minutes, 40 seconds to go. I think Gungnir's done a really good job to slow down the pace of the battle, waste a lot of time, on positioning, and this suppression coming out from the Metallators, it's kind of nasty. Some really good angles, probably. I say probably. Can't even see the impact on the ground, unfortunately. They're going through the center. Interesting pick here. They might actually contend for both sides. So they're actually fighting for the left-hand side. Gungnir is leaving some guys at the base point. So they are caught between a rock and a place right now, as you can't leave the base undefended, but you want to hold this left-hand side, and this left-hand side gets cataphract reinforcing, and that's a big sacrifice, if I do say so. Holy cow. Winged Assault's coming in through the Medals here. We've got how many sergeants actually being deployed? But the Medal pile coming out from the attackers really controlling that cavalry from the defenders. It's still to be seen whether or not they can actually do a pull here. They're attritioning down, and it's a heavy loss for both sides, but Gungnir is not out of the game just yet. They're maintaining that supply point just barely, as the troops from both sides are clocking down, and it's really close. Reinforcing Keshigs, my goodness, my man, Keshigs. Your cleanup potential is massive here, and Gungnir actually does it. So not only does Gungnir successfully holds that right-hand side push, they actually won. So they still have more troops available, because they still had some surviving troops, particularly the Falconettis, the Fortebraccio, actually. The Fortebraccio coming in very big here. Also, the Shenji. Man, the Shenji is still on the field. ECL. Surprising. Could not get that left-hand supply point. Whoa! Trying to push their advantage, get shot in the face. That's gotta be painful. Got 3 minutes, 40 seconds to go. Not an impossible hold. Gungnir still got plenty of high-tier units, and I mean, it's not a terrible outlook because both sides just took heavy losses there. I think ECL will have superiority here, taking a little bit of losses coming out from what your face calls it. Coming out from a little bit of the artillery during the B says, and they still have artillery here. Coming up through the middle section, not a good plan. Left hand, they're coming in through the right hand side as well. The start is not looking great for Gungnir. Gungnir really needs to turn the tide immediately. Otherwise, it's going to be a landslide victory. We got Ironcap Swordsman charging straight into an Iron Reaper pile. That doesn't bode to be well. Fortibrush is the one thing that could hold the line, but unfortunately, it just gets demolished as they just scream right through whatever they were throwing in there. Cataphrax coming in from behind. One against that rear charge, but I'll be honest with you, I would have charged directly, reinforcing the Fortebraccio instead, and that way the Iron Reapers would have taken the most damage. Gungnir is sacrificing their heroes' lives, clocking down to a lot of serfs. We have Medals actually still available. We have strong units still available, going and only be chucked in now. But you have to sacrifice your heroes now. 8 heroes left for Gungnir, and they're struggling to get onto this point. The Fortebraccios will one-tap anyone that gets close to this thing. Damn! That's unfortunate. Wow, that is very unfortunate. I thought Gungnir had a shot at defending there. I believe it came down to the fact that they were fighting tier 5s with tier 4s. Again. You really needed that. Okay, so interestingly enough, what happened there was that the Iron Reaper pile just smashed right through everything. What you needed to do was take out the Iron Reapers. So you needed the Fortebraccios to be in a position to take out the Iron Reapers. So you need Cataphrax as well. Cataphrax would have been amazing if they charged straight at the Iron Reapers. The Fortebraccios would have been able to deal with the Medals by themselves, and Zid MVP. You didn't say that. I have the entire chat here. You didn't say that. I mean, like, Zid1 did get MVP, but you didn't say that. Maybe, I don't think there were too many Falcos. Or maybe there were too many Falcos. They couldn't have the opportunity to use them. I think we're giving the Falconettis a bit too much discredit. I think what happened is they couldn't hold their lines very well because first of all, they're coming up short already by going in with tier 4s. Secondly, they're coming in with less because they have a little bit more ranged units. And thirdly, the attrition didn't work against the ECL's tier 5s. You're trading 1-to-1. You're trading 1-to-1 with the tier 5s. But I think a little bit of the artillery and a little bit of the trebs ended up giving ECL enough of an advantage that when they did the second push, there wasn't really enough tier 4s or like did seem like there were too many serfs out early on. I would have to doubt whether or not Gungnir committed all of their strong units immediately. I question whether or not Gungnir. I'm pretty sure Gungnir should have had more high tier units available. They just didn't set up for the push, and especially when they came in from that right hand side, it was very solid. Imperial Pike Walks immediately demolishes the Imperial Spear Guard, demolishes whatever was there. Very hard, very, very difficult to come back from losing probably 3 okay units. But again, the setup was very lacking. I can understand the idea. It's just they crumbled too fast, crumbled way too fast, and Gungnir in the end just couldn't stabilize because the unit difference was just too big. But that's all for tonight. We get to see another set of battles tomorrow. Tomorrow we get to see QJ versus OF, followed by Xeon versus EFFS. So that is tomorrow night on Friday. Hope you guys enjoyed. We got to watch the Nope versus PLEB battle, with PLEB winning 2-0, followed by the ECL versus Gungnir battle, ECL winning 2-0. But just in case if you didn't, if your favorite team just got knocked out, don't worry, we do have a losers bracket. So just to reiterate, the losers bracket is those that have failed from the upper bracket and will get a second chance at life. So we had EFF and CBL both both losing in the earlier phases, followed by I think it was you know how the losers bracket ends up. We'll get to see those guys again. Hopefully they come back. I do think it was a closer match between ECL versus Gungnir, so I don't think Gungnir should have difficulty facing off against some of the others in the losers bracket. Hidden City needs to see high tier houses play in defense. Maybe. Gungnir has had a good reputation for holding Hidden City, mainly against other, again, during the scoring phase. So this is probably the first time they've fought against a high tier attack. I say high tier attack because ECL is historically a very good team, coming in the top 4 for previous seasons, and I mean they should be good anyway. But that should wrap it up for now. This is probably the second time I'm wrapping it up. But I hope you guys enjoyed the show. But other than that, I'll catch you guys another day. Bye for my name's Azakai. Bye for now. And that's hilarious.